It hit my phone like a slap. A photo, no message, no caption. Just her lips locked with his. Her eyes closed, her hand gently cupping his jaw like she used to do with mine. The same move, the same tenderness, except it wasn't me. It was her ex. The one she promised was a chapter long closed. I stared at the screen, feeling like the floor had been yanked out from under me. My heart didn't just break, it cracked, clean and cruel, like ice underfoot. I zoomed in like a fool, trying to see if it was old, maybe something from years ago. But she was wearing the sweater I gave her 2 weeks ago for our anniversary. Fresh betrayal. Then I noticed the sender. It wasn't her. It was him, her ex. The guy who used to flood her DMs with guilt trips and nostalgia. The guy I thought she'd finally blocked. The guy who had once shown up outside our apartment with roses and a pathetic "I miss us" playlist. He sent me the photo directly, like a hunter laying a trap and then waiting, smug, to watch his prey fall in. No words were needed. The message was clear. She chose me, not you. My fingers trembled, not with sorrow, but rage. Was this real? Was she back with him? Was I just some stand-in, some rebound to make him jealous, only for her to run back the moment he snapped his fingers? And worst of all, what if she never really stopped loving him? My mind spiraled, but one thing stayed clear as crystal. If he thought this little power move would break me, if she thought she could humiliate me like this and walk away clean, then neither of them had any idea who they were messing with. Because love hurts. But betrayal? That burns. And I was about to set fire to everything they thought was safe. We met during the slow golden days of early autumn, the kind where sunlight filters through trees like melted honey, and everything feels like the start of something good. Her name was Alina, and she walked into the bookstore cafe where I worked with the kind of quiet confidence that made people turn and look twice. Not because she was loud or flashy, but because she carried herself like she knew who she was. A red scarf wrapped around her neck, earbuds in, nose buried in a novel. She ordered chamomile tea and asked me if we had a copy of The Bell Jar. We ended up talking for an hour about Sylvia Plath, poetry, and how neither of us could drink black coffee without gagging. That day, something clicked. Over the next few weeks, she kept coming back, sometimes for books, sometimes for tea, but mostly, I think, for me. And I was always there, always waiting, always noticing the way her eyes lit up when she talked about her dreams of becoming a therapist. She said she wanted to heal people. I never said it, but I thought, God, I hope she never needs to heal herself. Our first official date was at an outdoor jazz concert. I brought a picnic basket and forgot to pack forks. She laughed so hard she snorted a mid-bite of pasta salad, and I remember thinking, this is it. This is the girl I'm going to fall in love with. And I did. Completely. She met my mom after 2 months. They bonded over their shared obsession with crime documentaries and sour candy. My best friend Rami pulled me aside after meeting her and said, "Bro, if you mess this up, I'm disowning you. She's wife material." Everyone loved her. But more importantly, I loved her. For the first time in years, I felt settled, seen, safe. Of course, she had a past. We all do. But hers had a name, Zane. Her ex. The guy she dated all through college. The guy she broke up with 6 months before we met because he cheated on her. I only knew him through stories, none of them good. She told me he was manipulative, jealous, that he made her question her worth, her instincts, her voice. After 4 years together, she had to claw her way out emotionally and start fresh. "I'll never go back to that version of myself," she once told me, curled up in my hoodie after a late movie night. He took enough of me, no more. I believed her. She even showed me their old photos once, not out of nostalgia, but as proof. "This is who I used to be," she said. I look so happy here. But I wasn't. We deleted them together. I remember how she smiled afterward, like she'd finally slammed a door shut. That was 8 months ago. Since then, everything felt real, realer than anything I'd known before. We took weekend trips, cooked dinner together, argued about the stupidest things like whether pineapple belongs on pizza. She wore my shirts, left hair ties in my car, and made playlists titled things like, "For Sad Days, But I Got You Yellow Heart." She was mine, and I was hers, or so I thought. The first sign of trouble was subtle. A weird silence during dinner when I mentioned her ex's name. She tensed. I brushed it off. Maybe she was just uncomfortable. Then came the night I saw a message pop up on her phone. "Mr. Smile today. No name. Just a number." But the area code was familiar. She claimed it was her cousin, some inside joke. I wanted to believe her. I chose to believe her. Because love isn't just about trust. It's about choosing that trust, again and again, even when your gut whispers otherwise. But trust, I've learned, is like glass. Once it's cracked, it may still hold, but you'll always see the fracture. Still, I held on. Because I remembered the version of her that danced barefoot in my living room. The girl who cried when I surprised her with her favorite childhood candy on a bad day. The one who told me, "You feel like home." And maybe I held on too tight. Maybe I didn't want to see the signs. Or maybe I just believed too much in the version of her that loved me, not the ghost of a man who'd already broken her once. But ghosts, it turns out, don't stay buried. Some come back. And some send photos. After the photo hit my phone, I didn't move for a full 5 minutes. My fingers hovered over the screen, heart thudding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I kept telling myself it had to be fake, old, Photoshop something, anything but what it looked like. But denial is a fragile thing. And reality? It crashes through like a wrecking ball. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I sat there, staring at the picture, zooming in again and again, like some obsessed detective trying to solve a case I never wanted to open. Her nails were painted the exact green she wore last weekend when we went to the beach. His watch knew I remembered seeing a post on his story a week ago, flaunting it. This wasn't ancient history. This was fresh. Raw. Current. I went back through our texts, our calls. I replayed the last few days in my head. She had seemed distant lately, brushing off plans, more glued to her phone. She said she was tired from work, had migraines, and needed space. I gave it. I always gave her space, respect, and love, and she filled that space with him. That night, I sat in bed, the glow of my phone lighting up my face, watching her online status flicker on and off. I could imagine them texting, laughing behind my back. I started typing, "Why would you do this to me?" But I deleted it. She didn't deserve to see my pain. Not yet. The next day, I acted normal. I picked her up for dinner like we planned. She got into the car with that soft, effortless smile, the one that used to melt me. She leaned over to kiss my cheek, and I flinched. Just slightly. She didn't notice. At dinner, I watched her closely. The way she scrolled her phone under the table. The way she avoided my eyes when I asked about her day. The way she laughed too loud, too forced when I told her a joke that would have made her giggle weeks ago. "Alina," I said softly, "is there anything you need to tell me?" Her fork paused midair. "What do you mean?" "I don't know. Maybe something about your ex? About a picture?" She blinked. For a moment, panic flashed in her eyes just for a second, but it was enough. She recovered quickly. "Zane?" she said, almost scoffing. "He messaged me last week, yeah. I didn't respond." Lie. "You didn't respond?" "No. I told you. I'm done with him." I leaned back, folding my arms. "Funny. He sent me a picture." Her face froze. "A picture of you two, kissing." There it was, the truth bleeding out through the silence. Her lips parted, but no words came. Her eyes darted around like she was searching for a lifeline. He did that? So you're not denying it happened?" She swallowed hard. "It was a mistake. I didn't mean for it to happen. Didn't mean for it to happen." Like tripping and falling into someone's mouth is an accident. I felt like vomiting. How many times? I asked. My voice was low, calm, too calm. She didn't answer. Alina. How many times? Her eyes filled with tears. Just once, I swear. It was stupid. I was confused. He kept reaching out, saying he'd changed. I just wanted closure. Closure. Of course. You kissed him for closure? I said, voice shaking. Did you sleep with him for closure too? No, I didn't, she cried. It didn't go that far. I stopped it. I told him I loved you. I should have felt relief. I didn't, because what hurt most wasn't the kiss. It wasn't even a betrayal. It was the choice. She had the choice to walk away, to block him, tell me. But instead, she let him back and into her mind, her space, her heart. She let him close enough to touch her, to taste her, while I was still out here fighting for a version of us that no longer existed. I stood up. The table rattled. People turned. I trusted you, I said, voice breaking. Tears streamed down her face. Please, don't walk away. But I already had. I dropped her off without another word. She tried to touch my hand. I pulled it away. I spent the next few days alone. Rami came over, brought food, tried to distract me with FIFA and old high school stories. But nothing worked. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the picture. Not just the image itself, but her face in it. The softness, the comfort, the familiarity, like she was home. With him. She texted, called, sent voice notes, begging to explain, begging to fix it. She said she'd cut him off, block him, go to therapy, anything. But you can't fix something with the same hands that broke it. What broke me most wasn't that she cheated. It was that she didn't even tell me. I had to find out from him, the man she claimed to hate, the man who now had one up on me, who knew he still had access to the parts of her I thought were mine. One night, she showed up at my door, wet from rain, mascara smeared, shaking. I'm sorry, she whispered. I messed up. I panicked. I didn't think he'd send it to you. It didn't mean anything. I looked at her for a long time, but it meant something to me. She broke down, sobbing into her hands. I didn't comfort her. You once told me he made you feel small, I said quietly. And now, you made me feel the same. That's when she knew it was over. She left that night, and I didn't stop her. But I didn't delete the photo either. I stared at it every day, like a wound I needed to keep bleeding. Not out of pain anymore, but purpose. Because while she was out there begging for forgiveness, Zane was silent, smug, triumphant. He thought he won. He thought he broke me. And that's when I knew exactly what I had to do. Zane thought he played me. He thought sending that picture was a checkmate, that I'd crumble, confront Alina in a messy explosion, and he'd sit back with a smirk while we fell apart. Maybe he even imagined she'd run back to him permanently after I left. But he didn't know me. And I don't break. I build. And when I'm done building, I destroy it. So, I weeded. Not in silence, no. That would have made him suspicious. I posted like normal. Happy selfies, gym pics, casual story replies. I even commented on Alina's posts once or twice. Let them think I was still stuck, still broken. Meanwhile, I was digging. First, I created a fake profile. One of those Lawford Betrayal Enough accounts. I looked like some girl from out of town. Her name was Lena R., and she had a private profile with just enough followers and posts to seem legit. Through her, I followed Zane, and to no one's surprise, he accepted. Then, like him, always fall for the bait. He started liking her pictures, responding to a story, dropped a flirty DM by day 3. Pathetic. But I needed more. I needed to know what he wanted from Alina, from me, from this whole twisted game. So I baited the hook deeper. As Lena, I said I'd heard about his crazy ex, that I knew someone who used to date her and said she was a liar, a cheat, a manipulator. He bit immediately. She played that guy, he wrote. I only sent that photo to shake him up. I knew she'd come running after. Bingo. He even bragged that she still loved him, that they did more than kiss, and she just couldn't resist. Whether that part was true or not didn't even matter anymore. He was painting himself as the puppet master, and I had the strings in my hand now. I screen recorded everything. His messages, his voice notes. The one where he laughed and said, "It's wild how easy it is to mess with people who think they're in love." Disgusting. Now it was time to act. I reached out to Layla, Alina's best friend, the one who never really liked me much. I knew she'd never take my side if I just texted her as myself. But when I sent her the screenshots anonymously from a burner account with the message, "Your girl deserves to know the truth. She's being played by both of them," she responded within an hour with, "Who are you and how do you know this?" I sent the voice recording of Zane laughing about the kiss and saying, "She's so easy to reel back in." That did it. Layla showed it to Alina. Cue explosion. Alina tried calling me right after. 10 times. I didn't answer. Not yet. Let her sit in it. Let her feel the humiliation of being used by the same man again and worse, realizing the only person who truly cared about her was the one she'd betrayed. But that wasn't the final blow. No, the real finale was reserved for Zane. I knew he was applying for a new job, some upscale creative firm in the city. He'd posted a brag about the interview on LinkedIn and even mentioned it to Lina in DM. He was excited, desperate to look clean, professional. So I sent his future employer a neatly packaged email from a dummy legal-sounding Gmail account. Attached were screenshots of his messages about manipulating people emotionally, using women, and mocking mental health. I labeled it Potential Risk Profile, Confidential Concern. I don't know if it cost him the job, but his LinkedIn went quiet. His Instagram turned private 2 days later. Lena got blocked. I even heard from Rami, who ran into him at a party, that he looked like someone had pulled the rug out from under him. Good. As for Alina, she finally showed up at my place. Eyes red, hands shaking. "You knew," she whispered. I didn't say anything. "You played the long game, and I deserved it." There was a pause. Then she said, "Why didn't you humiliate me publicly? Post it all?" I shrugged, because that's what he would have done. She flinched. "I didn't need the world to see it. Just you. Just him. That's enough." She nodded slowly, a tear slipping down her cheek. "I ruined the best thing I ever had." "No," I said. "He did. You just handed him the match." That I closed the door. Not out of rage. Not out of spite. But because I was done holding open space for someone who couldn't guard my heart like I guarded theirs. She broke us. He mocked us. And I burned their perfect little illusion to the ground. Checkmate. Zane. It's been 6 months. People think revenge feels like fire explosive, loud, uncontrollable. But they're wrong. Real revenge is cold, precise, silent. It doesn't erupt. It settles like frost creeping in overnight, freezing everything you once thought was warm. And now that it's over, I'm not angry anymore. Just clear. I thought losing Alina would break me. I thought seeing her with Zane would wreck my belief in love, in loyalty, in myself. But instead, it woke me up. It forced me to see what I had been denying for so long, that love built on guilt, secrecy, or history isn't love at all. It's just a hostage situation with heartstrings. She reached out a few times since. Not to beg. Not to plead. Just soft messages checking in, asking how I'm doing, saying she still thinks of me when it rains. I never replied. Not because I hate her, but because I finally understand that closure isn't something they give you. It's something you choose. Zane? He disappeared from everyone's radar. Layla told me he moved to a different city, probably trying to escape the shame, the fallout. Good. Let him start over, but this time, without someone else's happiness to toy with. As for me, I started running again. Signed up for a half marathon. Got serious about work. I rebuilt my routine not to prove anything to anyone, but because I deserved to feel good in my own life again. I met new people, traveled a little, learned how to enjoy silence without associating it with betrayal. It's funny, we spend so much time thinking we need justice that we can't move forward until the people who hurt us are punished. But the truth is, the best justice is peace. Peace in knowing you didn't stoop to their level. Peace in knowing you outgrew the mess. Peace in watching karma do what it always does with time and precision. If you're reading this and you've ever been betrayed, I know how badly it burns. I know the way your chest tightens at night, wondering what you did wrong. But hear this, you are not weak for loving someone who didn't love you right. You are not foolish for trusting. You're just human. And healing? That's not a weakness. That's war. Quiet, exhausting, necessary war. I don't regret loving Alina. I regret giving parts of myself to someone who hadn't earned them. But I've reclaimed those parts now. Bit by bit, day by day. And maybe someday she'll pass me on the street, smile awkwardly, and remember what we had. But I won't stop. I won't look back. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't the pain you return, it's the peace they can never take from you.